Let's talk about public health officials scolding a COVID vaccine developer today for including what they call misleading information on a press release about its clinical trial. Here to answer your questions about that, Dr. Todd Ellerin, Chief of Infectious Diseases at South Shore Health. Doctor, thanks for being with us.
Great to see you, Doctor. You know, let's drill down on the AstraZeneca vaccine. It's not authorized for use here in the United States yet, so let's be very clear at the beginning. But it is available in other countries. And yesterday, the company released data from a U.S. trial saying the vaccine shows 79% efficacy against symptomatic disease and 100% efficacy against severe disease and hospitalization. So let me ask you this directly with what we know now. What could be misleading about those numbers?
Ed, this is really amazing. Initially, they released the data that you just showed, and that was a global sigh of relief. I remember saying, wow, this is impressive. And then 24 hours later, we hear that the Independent Data Safety Monitoring Board basically told the NIH and AstraZeneca that they felt that these numbers were not complete. There was issues with data integrity. And basically, it's possible that those top line numbers that we're hearing about may not be accurate, and that they may have been reported but not in a complete set. So it's possible that they did their results from a month ago, and maybe there's other results that need to be included. Really, this has been a series of mishaps with AstraZeneca. I believe that this vaccine has enormous potential, but they really have to prove to us that they can stop being careless with the way they're handling communications, data integrity, and the way they've operated some of these clinical trials.
But now that we have this news, it's going to be hard to convince the public. This is all new to all of us that, okay, is this safe to get? Is this something I want to stay away from? Give me Pfizer, give me Moderna, give me Johnson & Johnson, give me something else. Based on this, how do you shift public opinion on this, or is it too late?
So, Maria, first of all, there's no issues with safety. And I want everyone to know, I do believe that this is going to be a very effective vaccine. It's just a lot of it is issues about just sort of careless handling of things, despite the fact that it's likely effective. We're going to hear within the next 48 hours other results. But what I want people to remember is the FDA still needs to weigh in on this, and they look at the raw data. Okay, they don't look at press releases like AstraZeneca released. The other thing is that the CDC is they have an advisory committee that also scrutinizes the data and makes recommendations. So between that, I'm confident that we're going to know whether or not this is a safe and effective vaccine for the U.S.
So Dr. Ellerin, in that raw data, there should be information about a link. Maybe there isn't a link between AstraZeneca and rare blood clots. So will that be part of what they reveal, what the FDA discovers?
Absolutely. And Ed, what I want to point out is that there were about 21,000 patients in the vaccine group between the U.S., Chile, and Peru, the three countries that were involved in this phase 3 clinical trial. There were 0 cases of clots linked to the AstraZeneca vaccine, and the European Medicines Agency, which is our FDA equivalent, has basically said that it is not shown that there's greater than expected cases of clots than what we normally would expect as a background rate.
Really, really quickly, if the FDA approves it, would you let your patients get this shot?
Very important question. I'm going to say this again. I do believe that AstraZeneca vaccine is safe and is going to be shown to be effective. So the answer is yes, but I want to see that the FDA has scrutinized, and I want to hear that the CDC has recommended, and I want to see what the next 48 hours brings. I want to see some data integrity here from AstraZeneca.
Dr. Ellerin, it's always great to hear from you. Thank you for your time,
Thanks, sir. Doctor. Be well.